Good day, virtual pilots. Welcome to this presentation of the VATSAF PTD. Today we are parked at Bravo 17 at Cape Town International Airport. We will continue our exploration of aerodrome charts, and specifically today we will look at the Standard Instrumentation Departure Chart, or a SID, and the Standard Instrument Arrival Chart, the STAR. Many of you might ask, why do we need charts? Charts are like roadmaps. Departure charts will be the chart where you leave your house and guide yourself in a procedurally manner onto the highway. Arrival charts, or STARs, are the charts that will take you off the highway to your destination. In aviation, safety is of utmost priority, and therefore everything is done in a procedural manner to ensure the safety of passengers, crew, and other operational staff. Without further ado, let's look at the standard instrument departure for runway 19, the T10-1 Alpha departure. This is the standard chart you will download from the CAA's website, and it's also built for real-world operations. This chart is divided in three sections. We will look at section 1. Section 1 contains the standard information, firstly describing the type of chart that you are looking at. Secondly, it will provide the information of transition altitudes and levels where applicable. Thirdly, it will give you all the frequencies applicable to this chart. And fourthly, this chart will be identified in terms of the airport, the runway, and the standard instrument departure this chart is referring to. The next section is the plan view section. This provides critical information about navigational aids, terrain clearances, as well as notes to the pilot. It will also illustrate the exact route and all the turns and at which points these turns must be executed to correctly fly this departure procedure. On the left top you will see some notes for interpreting all the data on this chart. In terms of elevation, altitude and heights are all depicted in feet. Distances are measured in nautical miles, and bearings are magnetic. In the top right hand corner there's an information box displaying your minimum safety altitudes to fly in a 25 nautical mile radius of the Charlie Tango Victor VOR, that's the Cape Town VOR. Visual reference is also given to a wind farm on the top. That's the wind farm at Klipjewel in the Western Cape. On this departure chart you will also have two radio towers, and the 1691 feet and the 992 feet is the height of the tower, top of the tower, above mean sea level. So the next section is the visual navigational aids that's available for this chart. We will have the Robben Island VOR, we have the Cape Town VOR, and we have the Charlie Bravo NDB, which is your final approach point onto runway 19. The frequencies will also be displayed, and on the VOR's additional information in terms of the GPS coordinates and their Morse code to identify them. Inside the Cape Town TMA, we will also identify three separate airports, which is Stellenbosch, that's Foxtrot Alpha Sierra Hotel, Vissantekraal, Foxtrot Alpha Foxtrot Kilo, and then Foxtrot Alpha Yankee Papa, which is a military airport, Eysterpad military airport. Spread over a wide area on the chart are these purple boxes. These boxes will give you vital information of upper and lower limits that you are allowed to fly. It will also tell you that you are in Class C airspace, and it will also show you the frequency when crossing these areas within your minimum and maximum flight altitudes, which frequency you need to be tuned to. In this case 119.70, and that'll be Cape Town approach. This chart also displays the geographical surroundings around the airport. They are colored in brown, so all altitudes above 2,000 feet of the airport reference altitude will be depicted in brown, and the darker the brown, the higher the altitude. At higher spots you will see little markers of 2,500 feet, 5,600 feet, and 2,600 feet. These are minimum terrain clearance altitudes. On the right hand bottom side of the plan view, there's also notes for the pilot in terms of certain operational instructions. In the bottom section of this chart, you will see the standard instrumentation departure identifier as well as the runway. It will be followed on the right hand side by a pilot brief instruction, how to fly the departure out of Cape Town for the T-10-1 Alpha. Included in the pilot brief is also the restricted minimum climb gradients, and below that there is a communication failure procedure in case of total radio failure. This section concludes the basic understanding of the standard instrumentation departure chart, and next we will move on to the standard instrument arrival chart. This is the standard instrument arrival chart published by the SACA. This one is for runway 19, that's the Airbus 1 Bravo arrival. You will note that the information illustrated on this chart is virtually the same as the information displayed on the standard instrument departure. However, there are a few added additions. You will see in this specific chart there are some speed restrictions which are being discussed so that the pilot can note these, as well as specific notes regarding the procedure that needs to be followed. An added feature to this chart is the holding procedure overhead AirDAS. That's to ensure that you cross AirDAS at the correct altitude during a communication failure. To be noted other information in event of a missed approach with the intention of diverting to an alternate aerodrome, there's a specific procedure that the pilot must follow. In the next presentation, we will discuss the ILS approach itself and the procedure to follow on a missed ILS approach, whereby you're returning to the same airport. Pilots, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. If you like this presentation, click on the subscribe button, click on the bell to be notified of new videos arriving on our channel.